Straight ahead on your CBS 19 News at 4, Albemarle County Police announcing arrests in a shooting incident that happened last month that they say is gang-related. We'll tell you what you need to know. And the Who's are gearing up to take on Notre Dame tomorrow. We'll be live in South Bend with exclusive coverage. Your CBS 19 News at 4 starts right now.
Live from the CBS 19 News studio, this is CBS 19 News at 4, Charlottesville News First.
Well, good Friday afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Alexia Williams. It's a beautiful day outside, totally different from what we had this time yesterday. And let's head on over to our chief meteorologist, Travis Koshko, with the breakdown.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
And Alexia, by all means, yesterday was great with the area picking up between a half and 1 inch of rain. Today, got rid of the clouds, got rid of the showers, and now sunshine. And as Alexia mentioned, very pleasant conditions that will continue through the weekend ahead. I hope you got outdoor plans for Saturday and Sunday because it'll be worth it. Again, just some clouds moving through, kind of mixing with the sunshine, but the rain out of here, save for some lingering sprinkles in West Virginia. That will stay to our west. We're up to 57 degrees in Charlottesville and Standardsville right now, 58 in Culpeper, 60 in Madison, 51 in Waynesboro, and 60 right now in Lexington. Evening planner looks good as I think will become mostly clear. Temperatures still barely in the 50s by 10 p.m. Overnight lows falling to the mid-40s. And as mentioned, we're on our way to a good-looking weekend, which I'll tell you about in detail in just a couple of minutes.
All right, sounds good, Travis. Thank you. Well, our top story today at 4, Albemarle County Police announcing a pair of arrests in a shooting incident on Peyton Drive last month that they say is gang-related. Our CBS 19's Mark Gadd spoke with ACPD on what this message sends to the community. Mark.
Ja'Kai Mulford and Rico Walker Jr. have been charged in connection to the October shooting on Peyton Drive. Police called it a scary situation.
One of the shots kind of lodged into the fence post that surrounds the playground. So at 4:20, people are out there carelessly shooting and firing weapons.
The two 18-year-olds are currently being held at the Albemarle Charlottesville Regional Jail. Mulford has been charged with attempted malicious wounding and use of a firearm in commission of a felony. Walker Jr. being charged with conspiracy to commit a felony, and court records show he was out on bond on an assault charge. I also spoke to two residents in the area who told me they want increased police presence in their neighborhood between 3 to 6 in the afternoon, because that's when trouble usually rolls around. Byers says ACPD are taking that seriously.
There are extra patrols that are occurring there, but also making sure that our officers are not just driving through, but actually getting out of the car and having quality contact with the citizens of those communities.
One of the residents, who asked to remain anonymous, told me specific instances of young gang members doing drugs and smoking weed on the steps of the apartment buildings, saying some residents are too scared to enter their own homes.
So we've seen gang activity obviously increase, and we've seen the membership increase. And so that's what we want to do, is we want to identify these members and target them as best we can to make sure that these communities stay safe and people can enjoy where they live.
ACPD says they encourage anyone that witnesses criminal activity to give them a call or call Crime Stoppers at 434-977-4000. In the newsroom, Mark Gadd, CBS 19 News.
All right, thank you, Mark. And police want to stress that these arrests are not connected in the searches that occurred earlier this week. That is a totally separate case. Well, just a week after pulling off an upset victory at Pittsburgh, the Cavaliers return to action this weekend when they take on Notre Dame. Sports director Neocon Ocon joins us live from South Bend with exclusive coverage there as the Who's gear up to take on Notre Dame. And Neocon, how's it going?
Hey guys, yeah, we've just arrived at one of the premier venues in college football, and for just the second time in program history, the Cavaliers will take the field here at Notre Dame Stadium. Last time they were here was back in 2019. That ended in a 35-20 win, but later in the year, they would go on to play in the Orange Bowl, and that also happens to be the last time the Who's played in a bowl game. But with 3 games left in the season, the Who's once again chasing that elusive bowl game spot. That thanks to an upset win last week at Pitt. The Hoos are now 1 win away from that 6-win threshold to secure bowl eligibility, but they aren't the only ones chasing something. Notre Dame currently find themselves in the thick of the college football race with a couple weeks left in the regular season.
The message is the same. The process is the same from a preparation standpoint. Hopefully the guys have confidence, after last week, that they know what they need to do to prepare. But just excited about the opportunity.
Definitely cool. My father played there a couple times. He played at the Naval Academy. They have the rivalry, and he never won. So I got to get one back for him.
I've dreamed about this as a kid. I grew up watching Notre Dame a little bit. Just watching those guys fly around. I was just like, man, I wish I, get a chance to play in that type of atmosphere. But it's obviously gonna be fun. But I'm gonna try to give him all I can. Go out there. Come with the same effort, be better in certain aspects, and just go up there and make sure, not really worried about the temperature, and just go play.
Now, coming up later in sports, we'll talk about how the team is preparing for playing in front of one of the toughest environments in college football. For now, here in South Bend, Aniakon Okon, CBS 19 Sports.
All right, thanks Aniakon for that live update. Well, now an outside firm might be in charge of Charlottesville's outdoor pools next year. The big reason they say is because of the lifeguard shortage. The city has issued a request for proposals to outsource the management services at the Honesty Family Aquatic Center and the Booker T. Washington Park Pool. Right now, the city is looking for a company to manage their facilities for 2 years with an option to renew that contract for up to 3 more years. And a nonprofit mobile vision clinic visiting a local elementary school this morning. Our CBS 19's Brenna Kiefner has more on this impactful day.
Connexus aims to remove poor vision as a barrier to learning. And by providing free eye exams to Charlottesville City School students, Connexus is able to change students' lives.
I think we always think about kids in the classroom that are struggling with their education, right? But these same kids, if you're struggling in school, they're struggling out of school. They don't see leaves on the trees. And in Charlottesville, right, a beautiful time of year is fall, and then you're entering Thanksgiving and the holiday season to see the lights of Christmas or the lights of the holiday season. We're also providing that for these kids. So it means, for us, it means everything.
Summit students were welcomed into the mobile vision clinic where an optometrist did a series of tests on students to see exactly what eye problems they have.
We show up and we can get kids free eye exams. So many of these kids, they have eye issues, vision issues, and without us, they may not see an eye doctor. So that's what we're here today doing.
So far this year, Connexus has screened over 600 students and have referred 150 for additional care. And Connexus isn't stopping at the elementary level.
We expanded into the middle and high schools last year, and we'll do that again this year. Those exams are coming up later this school year, and so we're excited to be there again.
Connexus fit 25 students for their first pair of glasses, and they will be ready in just a couple of weeks.
An eye on the nation now. The Texas Supreme Court has ruled the execution of Robert Robertson, and that can move forward. They say that Robinson was convicted of murdering his 2-year-old daughter more than 20 years ago. He was supposed to be executed in October, but a state house committee delayed that execution by issuing a subpoena for his testimony. The state's high court denied that motion. A new execution date will now be set. Robertson's conviction relied on allegations that his daughter died of shaken baby syndrome. His attorneys argue that diagnosis has since been discredited. President-elect Donald Trump is bucking a long-established norm in Washington. His transition team is bypassing the traditional FBI background check for some of his cabinet picks. People close to the planning say that the team is using private companies to conduct vetting of potential candidates for those administration jobs. According to sources, Trump and his allies believe that the FBI system is slow. Critics also say that the intrusive background checks could turn up embarrassing information used to inflict political damage. But regardless of what intelligence is gathered, the president has the final authority on who he nominates. And speaking of those nominees, former GOP Representative Matt Gaetz has been under investigation by the House Ethics Committee over allegations of sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, and other improper behavior. But House Speaker Mike Johnson, he says that he's planning to request that the Ethics Committee not share its report on Gaetz. Johnson says that a former member of the House has traditionally been beyond that jurisdiction, But other House lawmakers, they say that that report should be shared with the Senate. Take a listen.
The Senate ought to have all the information it needs to make a decision.
I think it's essential for them to get that kind of information before they make a decision of this magnitude.
Resigned from his seat this week when President-elect Donald Trump announced that he was going to nominate him to serve as his Attorney General. He has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. And still to come in your CBS 19 News at 4, President Joe Biden is in Peru today for the APEC summit. We'll tell you how world leaders are already shifting their attention to President-elect Donald Trump. Plus, in more local news, the Salvation Army needs your help ringing bells this holiday season. We'll tell you how you can sign up. But first, here's Travis with your local weather authority forecast.
Should lose the clouds for the weekend ahead with pleasant conditions Saturday and Sunday. Maybe some rain extended. We'll talk about it all after this.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Happy Friday, my friends. We are almost to the weekend, about 45 minutes from quitting time. VDOT cameras back in Livingston, 2956 on the left-hand side, 29 Ivy Road on the right. Traffic moving along just fine. We are incident-free, and hopefully we'll stay that way as we head out to start the weekend. Sky's broken right now. Some sun, some clouds, but no rain. JES Skyline Network cam in Madison looking to the western horizon. I do think we'll gradually thin out the clouds a little more after sunset, which, by the way, is officially 1 minute after 5. So this weekend is when you get your sunsets before 5 p.m. I know, happy thought. Let's talk about better stuff. Radar satellite combo. Showers to our south and to our west. We're dry for the weekend ahead. We clear the sky tonight. Saturday and Sunday looking fantastic in terms of weather conditions. Right now, with the putt-putt gang in the background and a bit of a breeze, 61 degrees outside of Riderwood Studio, 57 at Show, 54 degrees atop Carter Mountain. Regionally speaking, you've got 58 in Roanoke, 52 in Columbus, New York City at 58, and added to the map at the Hosses in Altoona right now, 51 degrees in lovely Altoona, Pennsylvania. Skywise, we are partly cloudy at the moment, an upper level storm churning with these clouds. However, high pressure is going to scour all of that out for the weekend. It's also going to introduce a warmer flow of air. So we're talking highs both Saturday and Sunday in the 60s. Now, with high pressure and low pressure so close together, it's like magnets. You get them close, they want to stick. Well, in the same way, when highs and lows are close together, the air between them moves fairly quickly. So I do think it's going to be breezy through tonight and also to tomorrow, but not as breezy on Sunday. So your hourly forecast for tomorrow puts us at 47 degrees at 8 a.m. in Charlottesville, 61 degrees at 12 noon, 64 at 2 p.m. Your highs, again, mid-60s. Pollen counts of no concern for the next several months. Air quality index and smoke levels will be good and healthy for all age groups. So Futurecast, showing the quick clearing after sunset, mostly sunny on Saturday. Winds die down Saturday night, and we're back into sunshine for the day on Sunday. Monday might introduce a little more cloud cover as a weak disturbance moves through, but despite the clouds, our highs on Monday will be around 70, in which we should stay dry until next Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe looking at another decent chance of rain, but too early to tell and pour that part of the forecast in concrete. Your lows tonight mainly in the lower 40s. Been there before. I mean, those were our highs a few days ago. Saturday, 64 the high in Charlottesville, 63 in Palmyra, Crozet at 62, and 63 in Standardsville. Cardinal Home Center extended forecast. You're talking 70 on Monday, mid-60s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and then following those showers for the middle of the week, we're talking lower to middle 50s. So a bigger cool down looming and a cooler pattern in general as we lead up to the Thanksgiving holiday, which isn't all that far from now. I believe 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
less
13
than 2
days
weeks.
Officially, which is kind of crazy.
Wow. I'm impressed you have the exact count. Usually it's the how many days till Christmas, how many days till Christmas? Oh, 13 days till Thanksgiving.
Hey, I like
like
food.
that.
Come on. It's a
Nothing wrong
great
with
time.
Thanksgiving food, exactly.
All right, well, thank you, Travis. Well, as you make your holiday plans, the Salvation Army is looking for volunteers to help ring the bell at the Red Kettles this year. As of now, the Army has filled 170 shifts out of 1,456. That's about 14% of what they need. Signing up is easy though. Be sure to check out registertoring.com for more information. You can sign up for one shift, or like we do here at CBS 19 News, we take an entire day and everybody takes turns ringing for an hour or so. It's a great way to be out showing your holiday cheer and helping folks in our community. Well, the Paramount Theater announcing its lineup of holiday movies in a release today. They'll be kicking off the season on Saturday, November 30th with free pictures with Santa, followed by classic holiday shorts on the big screen. You can also see A Christmas Story, The Polar Express, Trading Places, It's a Wonderful Life, and The Muppet Christmas Carol. Tickets are now on sale. You can reserve them online, by phone, or in person at the box office. Well, President Joe Biden is capping off his term with a diplomatic whirlwind. Today, he's attending the APEC summit in Peru. Then tomorrow, he's set to meet with China's president before the G20 summit Monday in Brazil. The trip comes as many world leaders are shifting their attention away from Biden. As Amy Kiley reports, they're more focused on President-elect Donald Trump.
President Joe Biden is in Peru today for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. APEC has 21 member economies. Some analysts say it's an awkward time for Biden to gather with their leaders.
Yeah, he promised that America was back, and instead Donald Trump is back. This trip, as a result, has an air of melancholy over it. It's Joe Biden as a lame duck, and he's not in a position to reassure.
Sources say many heads of state are pivoting their focus to President-elect Donald Trump. Analysts say his America First policy vision leaves allies in an uncertain position.
For a lot of these countries, they're going to have to decide. Do they become more self-sufficient? Do they lean or tilt towards China? Do they try to find new partners?
Biden has a trilateral talk with the South Korean president and the Japanese prime minister this afternoon. Tomorrow, he's scheduled to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping. It's said to be their last one-on-one before Biden leaves office.
One of the purposes of this meeting, an official tells me, is to have a sort of bookend conversation between President Joe Biden and President Xi Jinping to address some of the issues that have arisen over the last 4 years and to chart any progress, if any, that has been made during that time.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And still to come in our Health Watch, UVA Health found a once rare allergic condition is growing to be more common. We'll tell you what that condition is and hear from an expert about it. That's coming up next. In Health Watch now, UVA Health has found that an allergic condition that was once thought to be rare has been increasingly diagnosed in recent years. Dr. Emily McGowan with UVA Health talked about, now bear with me with this pronunciation, eosinophilic esophagitis, or EOC, which causes inflammation in the esophagus and can make it hard for people to swallow. Dr. McGowan says it can be even bigger of an issue for patients if it's left untreated.
It's mostly driven by allergens, either foods that we ingest or things that we breathe in through the air. And over time, that allergic inflammation can change into what we call fibrosis or scar tissue and can make it really hard for patients to swallow.
They go on to say that if the scar tissue builds up and worsens, it can cause patients to have food trapped in their throat, which sometimes requires it to be medically removed at the hospital. This Sunday is World Prematurity Day, a time to raise awareness about the dangerous and even deadly health consequences of premature birth. In the U.S., preterm birth is a leading cause of infant deaths, and new data shows that the country has a long way to go to protect those who are pregnant as well as their babies. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither looks at the numbers and explains why experts believe that U.S. infants are dying at high rates.
She passed. For the third year in a row, the U.S. gets a D+ grade from the March of Dimes annual report on maternal and infant health for its high preterm birth rate.
Mothers and babies deserve better.
For every 1,000 babies born in 2023, about 6 died, according to provisional CDC data. That death rate is the same as the year before, and the March of Dimes report finds the rate of preterm births remained at 10.4% last year. Those are babies born before 37 weeks gestation, again unchanged from the previous year.
so it's remaining at historically high levels.
Dr. Amanda Williams says racial disparities also persist. For Black people, the preterm birth rate is 1.5 times higher than the rate among all other babies. The March of Dimes report says certain risk factors are contributing to the high overall preterm birth rates. First, the number of people who have chronic conditions during pregnancy and inadequate prenatal care.
A third of all counties in the United States are maternity care deserts. And that means that there is no prenatal care provider, no obstetrician, no midwife, no family practice doc who does OB, and no maternity unit.
Williams says identifying high-risk pregnant people and improving access to care are keys to reversing the high preterm birth trend.
We have to think about how can we keep our hospitals open and how can we make sure that we have providers who can take good care of patients.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And still to come on your CBS 19 News at 4:30, our Fit Friday series is back. We'll check out a local gym with a focus on strength and conditioning. That's coming up right after the break.
Live from the CBS 19 News studio, CBS 19 News at 4 continues with Charlottesville News First.
Welcome back. It's 4:29. I'm Alexia Williams, and you're watching CBS 19 News at 4. Time to check in with our chief meteorologist, Travis Koshko.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Clouds hanging around for now. I think in a few hours they'll be out of the region. The weekend ahead, really looking fantastic for anything outdoors, and even if that includes raking leaves. Wintergreen, thanks for the use of your camera. Wintergreenresort.com on the JES Skyline Network. Trees are bare, skies are still fairly cloudy, but you got nearly an inch of rain in Wintergreen yesterday in the higher elevations. So yesterday a good day, and today a good opportunity to dry out. Right now 57 degrees in Charlottesville. We'll be in the lower 50s by 9 o'clock with gradual clearing. Note the rain showers around Roanoke and Bedford, also back into Beaver and Lewisburg, West Virginia. Those showers are going to stay to our west, and we're going to be rain-free at least until the middle of next week. So tonight will eventually turn mostly clear. Lots of sunshine for both days of the weekend. Not only do we have some showers heading our way later next week with temperatures a little bit above average, so it's not going to be incredibly warm, but it's not going to maybe be cool as desired for this time of year. For those of you who like jeans and sweatshirt weather, talk about your forecast in detail, especially those temperatures, in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Travis. Thank you. Well, a local fitness expert shows us gyms throughout our area who make achieving your fitness goals attainable and fun. Our Fit Friday series continues at a strength and conditioning facility with an emphasis on keeping yourself accountable. CBS 19's Brenna Kiefner has more.
Metabolic in Charlottesville is ready to help take your fitness goals to the next level.
We have 3 different themes, so we kind of lean into the acronym of MAD, so momentum days, which are a slow gradual build, anaerobic days, which are high intensity, 100% effort, and then durability days, which are a slow, steady grind.
This franchise studio has 3 areas of focus: strength, structure, and accountability.
But they can count on that structure to always be there. The flow of class is always the same with a board talk, a demonstration, a warm-up, and then the interval itself.
When you come to a class, you're never going to do the same thing every single time. The workout is designed to help different muscles in your body, and the unknown of it helps make the workout more fun.
We like to say that we offer one-on-one attention in a group setting. So we have 25 people that can fit in a class, and yet it feels like you know the trainer is watching you, making sure you're moving safe, well, and also pushing you.
It's not for a specific group of athletes. It's open to beginners as well as advanced.
We always have heavy weights on the floor. Never too heavy, it's very scalable, so we have different lanes that people can travel. So everyone's doing the same movement, but someone can be lifting a lighter weight, and then someone else will be doing the same movement, but lifting heavier.
And you can expect to feel and see your results fast, even with rest days.
The perfect, metabolic week would be 4 classes with us, and then 1 to 2 days of active recovery. So we encourage our clients to go to other studios in town, or if they like to run, cycle, do yoga, and then take 2 rest days.
You can check out Metabolic in Charlottesville online to view their full schedule of classes, as well as take a trial run before you become addicted to this workout.
Up next, an internet celebrity and a legendary athlete will go head-to-head in the ring tonight. We'll unpack the buzz surrounding Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on today's Catching Up with Cassidy. Stay with us. Well, tonight, an internet celebrity and a legendary athlete will go head-to-head in the ring. What's going on, Cassidy? Alexia, Vine star turned fighter Jake Paul will face off against Mike Tyson in a boxing match. It's at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. The matchup is set to start at 8 p.m. and you can only watch it on Netflix. Now, there's a lot of debate about the fight because Tyson is a legend with 44 knockouts in his career, but some are nervous that he's older and that Paul actually has the upper hand. Tyson also just slapped Paul across the face. You just saw that on your screen at the weigh-in. This caused some speculation that this event actually isn't going to be legitimate. And you know, the internet is completely divided over this. A lot of people want to see Tyson win because of his record, because you know, he might have the underhand even though he's the trained boxer here. And Jake Paul has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So.
I was about to say, that's, I think, the biggest issue in everyone's mind right now.
A lot of people are rooting for Tyson in this one, but I think it's going to be a fun thing to see. And this is also Netflix's first time going live. So it's a lot of firsts here, but I think it'll be cool to watch.
I know we'll be watching it for sure.
Oh, we will.
All right, thank you, Cassidy.
Well, the holiday season is usually a busy time of year for the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina. The historic home has been back open to guests since around November 2nd. That's after Hurricane Helene hit the area really hard. But the 8,000-acre property did not escape unscathed. Justin Berger has more on the outdoor restoration efforts that are still underway there.
Bill Quaddy's responsibilities as Biltmore's director of horticulture took a back seat following Helene.
And people are dealing with a lot worse issues than you have. You know, we had loss of life in the community. We had employees that were losing homes. And you understand that, you know, we're making an effort to reopen, but people are going through other issues. And you have to have patience to meet them where they're at to be able to get to that next step.
Quaddy is responsible for all outdoor plant material and interior scapes in restaurants and lodging facilities.
The estate is 8,000 acres, which I guess that's comparable to 8,000 football fields, almost.
It's been a challenging 7 weeks.
The decision to remove the tulip poplars that were down there, the decision to start re-landscaping that area, a lot of that falls on me to make sure that we're getting that back to what guests would expect when they come on Biltmore.
The Swannanoa River damaged a few structures, including the lodge gate and gift shop. But more than a century of knowledge on the property put them one step ahead.
The 1916 flood did come through and it wiped out the Biltmore nursery. So it's like, okay, you don't put anything in the floodplain.
Unfortunately, it wasn't just the low-lying areas that were impacted, but the thousands of acres of saturated forest that experienced whipping winds, pushing over an innumerable number of trees, taking every bit of 4 weeks to restore full access to the property.
So it's just one after another, going through it systematically, removing those trees from the roadways so we could get through. Once we were done with that, then we could start expanding and physically removing the whole tree itself.
More roadways and trails opened back up on Friday, and to do that, Biltmore's needed outside assistance. For weeks, Quaddy says, contractors have been removing trees and helping clear debris from the riverbanks. It'll take decades for the landscapes to completely return.
When you talk about the loss of trees and then just the changes that we're going to have down at the lodge gate, that's going to last well over 50 to 60 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you wrap your head around that?
By doing the best that I can so that in 50 to 60 years people say, hey, that Quaddy guy knew what he was doing.
Coming up in world news, India has introduced stricter measures to combat air pollution, but are they enough? We'll hear from people struggling to go about their lives amidst the toxic smog there. But first, let's check back in with Travis, who has our local forecast.
Temperature is a little warmer than normal the next 7 days. Rain, maybe some of that too next week. Breakdown after this.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Traffic check on this Friday afternoon, keeping things cool on the roads, or at least we hope. But you know what? incident-free, no matter what the camera or not, we're still incident-free at this point. I-64, mile markers 114, 124, got you covered on the ends of Charlottesville. 29 Fontaine Avenue, 29 Rio Road, usual volume, but everything moving along okay at this time. Valley's looking nice now that we're trying to clear the sky. McDonough Toyota on the JES Skyline Network. Kind of a cool picture, if you will, even though those trees are bare and we didn't have much of a foliage here. Maybe about one weekend, and that was about it. Clouds and radar, still plenty of clouds. Rain showing up around Roanoke and points west, but we're dry, and we will be at least until the middle of next week. So if you're hoping for another soaker, might be too early to tell if what we get next Wednesday and Thursday will amount to a whole lot of anything at all. So your sky's mostly sunny tomorrow. 64 the high in Charlottesville, 65 in Rivonia, Livingston 63, mid-50s in Wintergreen at the higher elevations. Ruckersville, Wilderness, Lake of the Woods at 64, 65 in Orange. We're talking a high of 65 in Bremo Bluff and Kent Store, 64 in Louisa, 66 in Bumpus. Traveling about on Saturday, temperatures lower to middle 60s in Richmond, D.C., Norfolk, and Roanoke. A little more in the way of sunshine as you go to the south and west. High pressure moving in. That will provide the clearing. These clouds will scour out here. And again, we're going to be dry thanks to not one but two areas of high pressure. So about the middle of next week, it'll be this cold front and its low pressure systems along for the ride that move through. Warm front moves through Wednesday, giving us a few afternoon showers. And then Thursday might end up being the wetter day. That said, precipitation chances kind of flip-flop for the time being just because of confidence. So looks as though we got low to moderate chances of stuff for Wednesday and Thursday, but that could certainly change in the days ahead. Temperature-wise, normal high this time of year, 60 degrees, 64 for Saturday and Sunday, up to the lower 70s on Monday, still well above normal for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then following those showers next Wednesday, Thursday, our temperatures come crashing down with lower to middle 50s for Thursday and Friday. Tropical storm Sarah has already brought nearly 3 feet of rain to parts of Honduras and some of the country's worst flooding ever. This system will continue to drift very slowly in the days ahead, providing more rain across the Yucatan Peninsula. Whether it forms as a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico remains to be seen and something we will be watching in the days ahead.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Travis. Well, India has introduced stricter measures to combat toxic air pollution there. New Delhi has banned non-essential construction work as air quality plummets to severe levels. And all primary schools in New Delhi will shift to online classes due to the rising pollution levels. Christy Lou Stout has more.
A canopy of toxic smog hangs over the skies of northern India, blotting out the country's color, choking its people. Across Delhi, people go to hospital with serious respiratory problems.
Within last 15 days, there has been at least 25% rise in my OPD follow-up patient.
Many, like 65-year-old Aditya Kumar Shukla, try to stay home. So many others in Delhi are forced out into the pollution each day to work often menial jobs for little pay. People like auto driver Mohammed Ibrahim.
It feels like chili in my eyes with the pollution. When I go home in the evening and wash my hands and face, black stuff comes out of my nose. If I don't go to work, how will I fill my stomach? How will I pay my rent? How will I pay my auto's rent? I'm a poor man. How will I eat? Only if I earn can I eat.
Delhi is in its dry period, when emissions from cars and factories hang in the winter air. Smoke from farmers burning their fields after harvest lingers all day.
I use a mask. I use a cloth to cover my face. When I feel the problems acutely, I do deep breathing and exercises. That is what I do.
This month, the particulate matter in Delhi's air has hit levels 40 times over the WHO's safety levels. And many say government efforts to reduce air pollution are not working.
There is no question of it getting better. Last year it was not this bad. This year it's worse. Next year it'll be even worse than now.
In Delhi, some outdoor work has been stopped and schools have moved classes online. Flights have been diverted for poor visibility, but so many throughout northern India must struggle through the haze. Christy Lou Stout, CNN.
And coming up, there's a lot going on with politics and the economy, and many Americans are using their wallets to cope. We'll hear from experts on the consequences of doom spending and how to stop it. That's up next. Well, many Americans are coping with major events by turning to what's known as doom spending. It's the practice of spending money to soothe fears about big issues like politics or the economy. But financial experts warn that all of that spending can have serious consequences. Maribel Gonzalez spoke to some of them, and you should know what is going to happen before reaching your wallet.
It's a sort of retail therapy at your fingertips. That little dopamine hit when you click purchase or a box appears at your door, it definitely can make you happy for a moment. Financial experts like Courtney Alev from Credit Karma say recent major world events are driving doom spending, and people are using their wallets to cope. Whether that's the economy, whether that's you're trying to find a job, whether that's the election and the unknowns around it. Bankrate data shows more than half of Americans say they feel they're getting bombarded with bad news online, and this is affecting how they spend their money.
Once we peel back the layer of the money, it really is about the feelings. What's going on? Are you scared? Are you worried? Are you celebrating?
But experts warn this add-to-cart approach is a short-lived strategy that can have long-term consequences. This combination of both high interest rates and doom spending as well as high cost of living is definitely can be a perfect storm, especially for those younger consumers who are still really building their financial safety nets. Instead, they recommend putting the screens down and putting your energy into other activities that make you feel good.
Go outside, feel the breeze, feel the cold air if that's where you live, or the hot air, no matter where you are. It helps you to come back to nature, to be like, okay, I need to be a little bit more mindful in what's going on with me.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Well, McDonald's is trying to win back customers after last month's E. coli outbreak linked to onions on its Quarter Pounder burgers. More than 100 people were sickened and the chain's sales took a nosedive. Now McDonald's is investing $100 million to help back businesses get back on track. Now $35 million will go towards a marketing campaign for a new chicken nuggets value meal, and $65 million will go towards helping the franchises most affected by that outbreak. McDonald's said that recent tests showed no E. coli in its food currently. And various media outlets report that General Motors is laying off about 1,000 workers. It marks the automaker's latest efforts to cut costs. GM laid off more than 1,000 workers back in August, and about 5,000 employees accepted voluntary buyouts in 2023. Airbnb is offering the chance for you to unleash your inner gladiator inside of Rome's Colosseum after hours. Visitors will get to suit up in historic armor and even put their skills to the test in battle. Airbnb says that guests will be able to book a free 3-hour experience for next May. There are currently 16 spots total, but you can also bring a +1 to watch you. Now with an eye on entertainment, your first looks at 2 highly anticipated movies featuring popular performers that you may not have seen in a while. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
We were ambassadors for style and grace. The Las Vegas showgirl. The iconic American showgirl.
Pamela Anderson waxes nostalgic in the first teaser trailer for The Last Showgirl. She plays Shelley, whose Vegas show has closed after a 30-year run. Jamie Lee Curtis and Dave Bautista co-star. The Last Showgirl begins an Oscar-qualifying run December 13th and opens across the U.S. January 10th.
Mom, she's fine. It's not that bad. What is going on?
We were operatives for the CIA.
Like Jason Bourne?
Yeah, but we remember stuff.
Yeah.
Remember Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx? They play retired spies whose cover is blown in Back in Action. It's Diaz's first film in 10 years after stepping away to raise her children, and Foxx has kept a low profile since he was hospitalized while shooting this movie last year. Now both are back in the first teaser trailer for the film, which hits Netflix January 17th.
It's like old times, baby. just like old times.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And that's going to do it for us on your CBS 19 News at 4. But don't worry, we've got a lot more coming up on your CBS 19 News at 5 with Dan and Cassidy. I'm Alexia Williams. See you back here tonight at 6.